Welcome to another edition of After the Whistle, and we are on location. We in the basement. It's rain. We was gonna do something outside, but that rain's too much. So we back with a brand new episode. I got Todd here, Mister. He want to have blue zones and stuff. Like,
oh man, yeah, delicious. Going in, long night coming out.
It turned out to be a long night for the Toronto Raptors last night after they seemed to have control of the game, and then the fourth quarter came, and I don't know who that was. That was Marcus Curry, Marcus Smart, Marcus Thompson. Like, what in the world? That was after the second one, I was like, okay, but the third and fourth one, I was like,
I'll be honest. I told you he found his niche playing with the Celtics, and to be honest, I feel you could see what guys have been getting working during the quarantine, and which guys were getting back into shape during this playing stuff in the playoffs. So you could tell he was working, and I think he's figured it out how to play with the Celtics. He figured out his role. He figured out what he's decent at. He figured out how much leash he has to mess up and be productive, and he's doing well with it.
Yeah, he definitely is. Like him and Kemba, they was like. I saw the stat was like they were 2 for 14 in 3 quarters, and then Kemba went 4 for 4 in the fourth, and then Marcus, I think he went 5 for 5, or I think he missed one shot. I think he missed only one shot in the fourth quarter.
I think so
because he had the heat check for six in a row. But just this whole team, because when they was down 12, if this was last year's team, they would have packed it in. But you saw like they didn't panic. They got it together. Like Jason Tatum was really keeping them afloat in the third quarter. Like the Raptors had no answer for him. He was just doing whatever he wanted.
And the leader at the point, I want to say he's always balanced.
Yeah.
He's never high, never too high, never too low. He smiles a lot even in tough times.
Yeah.
So he might be mad, but he's showing the team that's not that serious. We'll get through it.
Yeah.
So you need a headstrong point guard, honestly, like to get through times like this. And he's just shown that he's no bigger than anyone on the team.
Yeah.
And he'll take a step back if somebody's killing and vice versa. So, and honestly, though, they don't take the Raptors too seriously. Like, I get it, defending champs minus the guy that got him the ring.
Yeah.
So it's like, I know they're going to make it a competitive series, but I don't think the Celtics feel that they're going to win one game.
Yeah, speaking of that step back, Kemba, I think he's just been, I think people haven't learned that step back's coming, especially in crunch time. He did it again yesterday. Yeah. And it's literally, it's coming. There's nothing you can do about it. He's like perfected that.
Yeah, man. And it's like, it's either a layup or the step back. Yeah. So if he doesn't get by you, he's getting that space. And if he gets by you, it's a layup. So you got to pick your poison. Guys that big really can't move. So it's tough to recover on a step back.
And what do you always say when it comes to the fourth quarter? It's all about getting to the basket and getting free throws.
Free throws, man. And that's a lot of guys. I mean, a lot of teams aren't understanding that, especially in the last 3 or 5 minutes in the fourth quarter. Mm-hmm. Make the game easy for yourself.
Definitely.
Get the easiest points possible.
And the Raptors got a huge problem. They can't play Gasol in this series. They get Marc Gasol. They can't play him in this series because there's no matchup for it. He's a liability out there. That's why when he was out there, he barely did anything. They should play Ibaka more. Ibaka had 17. He had three threes. Like Gasol is 2 for 4, 6 points. He's just not a factor. Like Enes Kanter, good players, good role player, but in this series, he's not. This isn't his type of series just because he's the mobility, all the athleticism around. That's why he's not getting that much minutes. So Robert Williams, he comes in 5 for 5.
He knows his role. Yeah. He knows what he gets paid to do. And he gets paid to get rebounds, block shots, and show up on time. Mm-hmm. So, man, honestly, man, I'm just glad. What's his name? Nick Nurse?
Yeah.
I'm glad. It seems like he was taking some advice for some of the, I want to say, the analysts and talking about need to play some of the bench guys because playing the bench guys, he made the game a little more competitive, but I still think they're going to come up with the win.
Yeah,
and what's his name? Ojanobi?
Yeah.
He's still a little raw. He's still learning, so he made some crucial mistakes.
Yeah. He got the talent, though.
Yeah, he got the talent, though.
And don't miss 28 threes. That's all I'm saying. Don't miss 28 threes. That's not...
And I'll be honest. I was watching this game with Justin, and we were just saying, like, the basketball was just kind of crazy. Like, nothing but threes were being thrown up to a point that it was like, are you going to give yourself a chance to make the game closer? You're just trying to get a 4 to 7 point lead every time.
Yeah.
It's all about making the smart bucket and getting the smart bucket.
And the team, the Celtics did that. So they're up 2-0. They play again tomorrow. This is good for them. They're 6-0 in the postseason right now. They're looking really good the way they've been playing. They're gonna be they sweep this series. I've already said they're going to the finals, but they sweep this series. Miami or Milwaukee, they're in serious trouble. Speaking of Miami and Milwaukee, Milwaukee got a problem. And their problem is their best player can't shoot. He can't make mid-range shots. He can't make three. And the Heat, they just build a wall. They say you're not getting to the hole. And when he wasn't getting to the hoop, he couldn't make a shot. And then he was forward 12 from the three, from the free throw line.
I had a friend of mine tell me that the Bucks would definitely go into the Eastern Conference Finals. I'm like, how? Why? For one, they're playing against my Heat. You know, two teams, Celtics and the Heat. And the Heat, their culture is just hard-nosed, competitive play.
Yeah.
On both sides. So when you got a guy, Jimmy Butler, who prides himself on defense and is getting you buckets, he plays both ends of the court.
Yeah.
For one, John is going to take it upon himself and say, nah, coach, I'm taking him. I don't want to hear you saying whatever the coach want me to do. That, to me, it sounds like you're scared. And you know me,
You the defensive player of the year. Switch.
I don't call no professional athlete scared, but when you say that to one U.S. reporter, why you're there to ask me that question, and you give him that answer, that means you don't want that smoke. And it's okay, but just tell him that. And that's why when I told you about the defensive player of the year, I was kind of shocked he got it.
Yeah.
You kind of see why.
If I was the reporter, I would have been like, "Why do you think I asked you that question? Like what? What kind of? I hate when athletes do that to reporters, like acting like they asked them a stupid question. No, the guy had 40 points. You're the best defender on the team. Why weren't you on him? Because the guy you were guarding was not a scoring threat at all. Like, make it make sense.
And I think, honestly, I think the Heat are better than the Bucks, personally.
They match up with them. And, you know, sports is all about matchup. They match up with them. Giannis just can't be traveling his way to the hoop like he does with other teams. They got guys that actually want to play defense, and then they got guys who can make shots. Duncan Robinson, New Hampshire's own Duncan Robinson, he's out there just shooting the lights out. And then my boy Tyler Hero, making big shots as a rookie. So the Heat team, they're like, if you're not on your A game, they're gonna beat you just because they're gonna play defense and they're gonna find an open man to make the basket.
And they make the right plays. They're not gonna jack 40-something threes and a half or something like that. It's just all about recognizing the best play at that point in time to help you guys win.
Yeah, and Brook Lopez can't be a leading scorer for.
I mean, he ain't been their leading scorer all season. All of a sudden, the lights get brighter, and John is starting to disappear.
It's starting to look like the Eastern Conference semis last year. The Eastern Conference semis Eastern Conference Finals, I should say. The Eastern Conference Finals last year.
And it kind of makes you wonder about them comments that James Harden said.
Yeah.
It's easy to dunk in layups.
Yeah, it is.
And it's showing where skill is necessary in the playoffs. Yeah. To win championships, you need skill.
And Jimmy Butler, I mean, that was I think he had like 8 straight points or 10 straight points. I think he told his teammates at one point he's not passing the ball, and they were all cool with it. And this is what we were talking about with Philly. Philly dropped the ball and not re-signing him. And they wanted to sign other guys who don't have this.
Bro, Philly dropped the ball with like 4 or 5 guys within like a 2-year span.
Right.
We talked about it already. Yeah. So, like, man, Philly's a waste. Man. Yeah, next.
So they're going to go back. They're back in action tonight. The Heat looking to take a 2-0 lead. But, yeah, the Bucks, Giannis, if you need to work on that mid-range game. You don't even need a three-pointer. You need the mid-range game. Just like, in all those years when people was getting on LeBron because he wasn't that great of a shooter, what did he work on? His mid-range game. And he was killing people from the mid-range. So, I mean, the mid-range is a key to basketball success.
But they're so conditioned to think it's 3 or layup. And that's what I was told. Like, when you play against guys that are high profile, they either do 3 or layups. Yeah. The mid-range game is a lost art, but you'll make a lot of money shooting them. I'm telling you, you will.
Yeah, you will. Yeah, you will. All right, this game last night, the Nuggets and Jazz, I mean, they had 6 wild high-scoring games, and then we went back to a throwback 1990 game where the final score was 78-80, and the last sequence of that game was just like, yo, this is like Washington Generals basketball right now, because it was just a mess, but it was a nice series.
Yeah, it was.
And both teams were tired.
Yeah, I was gonna say they definitely fatigued. Definitely, Murray caught that knee in the thigh. I was telling my boy, I feel like what's his name, Ingles?
Yeah.
I felt like that was on purpose. He's like, I don't think he meant to hurt him. He meant to slow him down and to give him a little Charlie horse. And then he was like, well, he reacted kind of quick to help him up. I said, dude, I do the same stuff when I accidentally, or purposely accidentally need somebody in the thigh. This is slow him down. Yeah, look, I care. I don't care. I know you all right. Let's keep competing. But yeah, somebody had to slow one of them guys down. Yeah. And it just so happens that the one they tried to slow down came through in the clutch in the end.
Yeah, it was the series. This series was won by the Joker. He took over.
That's.
It was him and Rudy Gobert in that fourth quarter. You know, Rudy Gobert was just getting and ones, and I'm just like. But it turned into the first 6 games was a battle between the guards. Then it became between Rudy and the Joker. And then that last play, this is one criticism I've done of Mitchell. He's too predictable. He doesn't have that play. He just rushed it. The whole team, there were four eyes on him. They were waiting for him to come to the paint. That was just great. That was a great defensive play by Gary Harris. But Donovan Mitchell, they knew you was gonna try to attack the hoop.
Man, I don't like watching Rudy Gay play. Personally,
Gobert, you mean?
Huh?
Gobert, you mean?
What I say?
Because you said Rudy Gay.
Oh, my bad. I like Rudy Gay. My bad, Rudy Gobert. Honestly, Jokic was killing him. It seemed like in the first half he didn't even want to play, didn't want to cover him. Then he wants to get an alley and start screaming. Bro, you barely had to jump. Stop that, man. And honestly, man, Jokic gave him the business last night.
Yeah.
He gave him the business.
He did. But it was the sequence though. They get the steal, and I don't know what was going to Murray's head, but he doesn't know they're up 2, and all he gotta do is hold the ball, and he bounce passes it to Craig, who bumps the layup, and Mike Conley's shot goes literally in and out. If that shot went in, man, the slander that would be happening to those two.
Yeah, man. Honestly, I don't know what he was thinking. He might have just been overtired, thinking, get a quick bucket, go up by 4. But honestly, for one, don't make that pass to Craig. Pull it out. 2, Craig, don't shoot the layup. Pull it out. 3, Craig, if you're gonna make the layup, just dunk it. Honestly though, I told my boy, I said, bro, 9 times out of 10 he makes that layup. He was right there, just bounced out. But honestly, you don't shoot that. Yeah, you make them foul, you make the free throws.
That was a major brain fart on their end. But the Nuggets now, they're on to the second round, and this is gonna be an interesting matchup with them and the Clippers. We'll get to that in a second. But first, there's another Game 7 tonight, and if the Rockets lose tonight, my goodness, James Harden, the slander he always gets when they get eliminated from the playoffs.
It won't go to him.
Oh, it's gonna go to Westbrook.
I'm saying it won't go to him. When you start throwing the ball like this and like this, you're thrown out of bounds. Bro, do you value the position you were in?
It won't go to James Harden, but it's gonna get
to him. But in all reality, bro, you don't you just value possessions.
Yeah, it was that whole sequence too. It was he went 100 miles per hour for no reason. They got the play they wanted. You had him. All you had to do was slow it down and kick it back to him. And then Chris Paul didn't even bother trying to defend him. He went straight to the guy on the 3-point line. So it was just a terrible sequence for Westbrook. He got to redeem himself tonight. But Chris Paul, I already had respect for him, but my respect for him just went to another level, what he did in that fourth quarter. Because it was just he was just all right, everybody get out the way. I'm going to put the team on my back.
Well, they always try to make him a scapegoat of why teams might not get over the hump.
Yeah.
And he's shown that he's a leader. He just needs certain pieces around him to be effective. Mm-hmm. But I stopped watching that game in the end of the third quarter. So I'm all right, man, Rockets playing all right. They should have enough to win. But the whole game, Westbrook was kind of just throwing the ball. Just wasn't valuing possessions. Just kind of flinging that thing around. Not really, oh, man, it's out of bounds. It's just not taking, I want to say, not taking the game as serious as he usually does.
Yeah, and they had a 10-point lead with 3 minutes left. Because the Thunder the Thunder cut the lead, and then the Rockets went on a run to make it a double digits lead, and you think, okay, they're going to close this out. But then they just started doing dumb stuff with the basketball, and they started hawking up threes like they usually do, turnovers, just being careless. And it was very confusing.
And to be honest, I thought they were gonna close that out because Covington was out there playing great.
Yeah.
He was steady, knocking everything down, just the role players are playing so well, you thought that there was no way they were going to lose.
Yeah, they did enough to close that series out, and then you just had, Westbrook. That was not a great a great moment for him in basketball. And plus, 15 for 44 from 3-point range. You're not gonna win a lot of games with that. So and look at how many free throw attempts they took. 12. The Rockets took 12.
Yes.
Harden usually takes 12 himself.
And that's the problem with shooting too many threes. You got to get to the line. It's playoff basketball. You can't play playoff basketball like regular season basketball. It's just not the formula doesn't work.
And also we gotta give credit to Danilo Gallinari in that third quarter because he was keeping them afloat in that third quarter because the offense kind of got stagnant. They weren't doing much, and he was making buckets. He keeping them afloat. But one thing the Thunder need to stop doing, they need to stop having these lapses because the game will be close, and then it's always in the third quarter. They just go on this scoring drought, and they just look all over the place on offense, and it leads to quick baskets for the Rockets.
Yeah, I don't really know what to really say about that because I feel like all the teams have a quarter where they don't play too well. Yeah. But they just got to figure it out. Yeah. So, they just got to figure it out.
Yeah, definitely. Game 7 is tonight, so we'll see what this entails. So this is gonna be a career defining moment for a couple players in this. Also Mike D'Antoni too. All right, so the Clippers and the Lakers, they stopped messing around with their first round matchup. They got rid of the Blazers and they got rid of the Mavericks. For the Lakers, that was a pretty entertaining game in that Game 7. It was Game 5. It was pretty close, Portland, they gave it all they got. It was just LA was too much for them. Anthony Davis was too much for them. They had no answer for them. There was that moment where Melo and Bron were going at it. They had going back and forth, but Anthony Davis was just too much for them. They really couldn't do nothing with them. I thought this series was gonna go 6 games, competitive 6 games, but yeah.
Once Dame got injured, I knew it was over. They were burnt out.
That's
you know what I mean? They played well. They played well for this series, but they were just burnt out. Didn't have enough gas. CJ played great, in Dame's absence. Melo showed people why you can't disrespect a man that's only, 36?
Yeah. All right, so the Mavericks and the Clippers. The Clippers just, 6 games. Kawhi Leonard took over the game, and he took over. He took over, especially in that fourth quarter. It was just, he got in the zone. It seems like he found his zone. He found his rhythm. It's like it's gonna be tough moving forward for the Nuggets against that team.
Yeah, man. It seems like Kawhi gets fed up after a while. Like he'll give Paul a couple shots, couple opportunities. He starts bricking him on. Like, all right, bro, I gotta put us on our back, man. Yeah. I like when Paul George says Kawhi keeps telling me to shoot. Yeah, because he knows you're the second best player. But it's like, bro, help him.
Yeah,
more. That's all.
The thing I like about Kawhi is he's like an old school player because he'll probably take like 2 or 3 threes. Only if he's really feeling it, but his damage is gonna come from the inside in the paint. He's gonna post you. He's gonna take it to the basket, and also most of the people that are guarding him, he's got the size and weight advantage of him. I didn't realize how strong he was because every time he goes to the basket, it's like once he puts his chest on you, it's like, oh
yeah, he's a strong guy. And one thing they gotta realize, he's really not gonna pass the ball. Yeah. So just double him. He really does not pass much.
No, he does not.
So just double him. He probably won't beat you.
Especially when they put him in that ISO on the wing. He's
not even looking to pass. I
don't know how the Nuggets gonna try to contain him because the defense we saw them play in that last series, my man.
Who's gonna cover him? Gary Harris and what's his name? Porter Jr. We're
gonna go to Craig. Fantasy football drafts are coming up. A lot of people having their fantasy football drafts. Next Thursday, NFL seasons. This opening weekend for game
1.
Game 1 is next Thursday. Yeah, next Thursday.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I said. So if you got for all you fantasy football folks, here's Craig in the fantasy no huddle to give y'all an update on who to draft and who not to draft.
What up, everybody? And welcome to No Huddle here on After the Whistle. It's your boy Craig coming to you on my segment. And this week I'm going to give you some fantasy sleepers. If you haven't drafted or if you drafted and you're looking to pick some players up off the waiver wire early because maybe you're not settled on some of your picks, I got a couple guys I would recommend looking at. Starting off first and foremost at the quarterback position is my guy Drew Locke. I talked about him a lot last year. I thought that he was a lot better of a pick than Daniel Jones. I think he has a lot more upside than Daniel Jones, and I think he's going to turn it around a lot better than Daniel Jones will this year. He's got a lot of great receivers. Cortland Sutton. They got the rookie Jerry Jeudy, Noah Fant in year 2, and they got running back Melvin Gordon in the backfield. I think it's going to open up a lot of opportunities for this kid, and I think we're going to see some great things from him. If he's available on the waiver wire, I'd snatch him up, and especially if you only have one quarterback on your team. Another quarterback I would draft, I doubt he's available on the waiver wire, is Cam Newton. And a lot of people are like, oh, Cam Newton's injury prone, this, that, and the other thing. But here's the thing. He won the job from Stidham, which means he's still got it in him. He's still a young quarterback. He's still very athletic, getting lots of praise from Bill Belichick. First to show up, last to leave. He's putting in work. He's finding his groove and his love for the game again. And the biggest part about this whole situation is his contract is almost entirely based on incentives. So he's getting $1 million cash no matter what. But if he wants to make more, he's got to perform. And as much as Cam says, it's not about the money, it's about the respect and proving something to himself. At the end of the day, you still want to get that paycheck because you got bills to pay. And I haven't seen many endorsements for Cam Newton lately. So let's just say the guy's got to put up numbers in order to get that money. Cam Newton's going to do it big. In the running back position, I'm really loving Damian Harris from the New England Patriots. He stole the job from Sony Michel, and I think he's going to run away with this season. He's the better back. If he wasn't hurt last year, I think he would have stole the show, and he'd have been doing big things. So if you're looking for a running back late in the draft, or if he's available on your waiver wire, I suggest snatching him up ASAP. Another running back I'm digging right now is Cam Akers. Now, he's definitely not on the waiver wire, so this is more of a draft suggestion. If you can get him late, I wouldn't want him as my RB2 or 3, but if he could be your RB4, I think he's gonna take over the backfield there. Henderson is hurt. Malcolm Brown is definitely a backup. He is not a starter. Cam Akers is going to come in. He's going to make some big waves. It's going to be looking really good for him. Another guy I like who I'm never high on, but this year I actually really like him, is Sami Watkins. The reason why I like Sami Watkins, and this is just kind of like a handcuff situation, Tyreek Hill hurt his hamstring, early in this preseason training camp, whatever you want to call it. And, a hamstring injury this early might not mean nothing, but when you have a hamstring injury, they tend to continuously ail you, and they tend to come back. So if he's battling a hamstring injury, even if it was minor, and him being a fast back, I think that could be something that might play into the season come as it goes deeper. When you're looking at tight ends, there's two tight ends that are sleeper picks that are going to go either not going to get drafted, they're going to go really late, or they'll be on the waiver wire. First is Eric Ebron. I'm a big fan of Eric Ebron. I know he's got bad hands, but he's about to have the best quarterback he's had the entire time he's been in the NFL. He's looking at Ben Roethlisberger. Roethlisberger loves throwing to the tight ends, and I think Eric Ebron's going to be dangerous in the end zone. Another guy I like is Goddard from Philly. They're going to be running that 2 tight end set. I believe this is the year he takes off. There's no reason to think this for me to think this, but I have a feeling that there could be a problem with Zach Ertz. And finally, my sleeper defensive pick of the week, knocking my phone up, is going to be Tampa Bay. A lot of people be like, what, Tampa Bay? But no, Tampa Bay was a great defense last year. They were just ailed by the fact that Jameis Winston throws the most interceptions in the NFL. And now they got Tom Brady. The defense is going to be knocking them out, and Brady's going to be keeping it on the field. So that's a good pick for you if you're either picking late or you need a bye week defense. Tampa Bay Bucks all day, baby. With that being said, this is my time. Check out my shows, Tail of the Tape, The End Zone, and hopefully I'll get the flex back up and running ASAP. And until then, I'll see you in the end zone on Tail of the Tape and the flex. This is No Huddle. back to After the Whistle. Good night.
Some NFL news. We gotta break down some NFL news. So the Jacksonville Jaguars just randomly waived their best offensive player, in Leonard Fournette the other day. He's still on his rookie deal, I believe. I think he was like 14 or $16 million. So they waived him. Makes absolutely no sense why they waived him. They're going in full tank mode for Trevor Lawrence. Like, that's the only thing, because everybody from that team that went to the AFC Championship game a few years ago, majority of them are gone.
They're like the Jacksonville Jack. Like, what is even the point of you guys even playing this year for? You might as well just say the whole stadium got COVID and just shut down Jacksonville, bro.
I have no idea.
You change the name to Jacksonville Jacksonville. Like, what are you doing?
You trade away your best offensive player. He had a career year last year, and then you just get rid of him. You don't even trade. Like, what? I don't understand it. I don't know how the coach is still there. I don't get it.
I don't even want to talk about this.
Yeah, and then they do another thing. Their best defensive player, Yannick Ngakoue. I think that's out.
Hey, you probably know better than I do.
No, yeah, that's how you say Ngakoue. That's how you say Ngakoue.
I know you do.
I was like, they traded him to the Minnesota Vikings. Another one, their best player. I have no idea what they're doing, but the Vikings, they just got a whole lot better adding another All-Pro. So I think they have 6 All-Pros on defense. At each they got 2. I think they got 2 on the D-line, 2 in the linebackers, and then 2 in the secondary. So this team is loaded on defense, the Vikings. And you already know where I'm going with the Vikings. Their success all depends on one guy. And the guy, he today pulled out the old Drogan.
If I die,
I die quote. I don't understand it. I mean,
you're talking about the COVID thing.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I don't disagree with it. It's one of them things, like, it's kind of like people like, you scared to do this? It's like, yo, I could die walking down the stairs. I could die in my sleep. So you can't be scared.
The thing about his comments was, I mean, they weren't that crazy, but they was just dumb. It was just like,
yeah, I mean, maybe he's trying to be funny.
Maybe, but you got a lot of things to worry about. Like, if they don't get to the Super Bowl this year, you're going to be the main reason, because you were the main reason last year, because they couldn't score no points because of you. So the Vikings got better on defense. Granted, they lost one of their best wide receivers because he just didn't want to play with Kirk Cousins no more. So it's going to be interesting. The Buffalo Bills.
He had the nerve.
Yeah, you go from Kirk Cousins to Josh Allen.
Whatever, brother. Kudos to you, man.
Josh Allen threw a jump ball to a fullback in a playoff game.
Hey, apparently that wide receiver knows something that we don't about that. But yo, question about Fournette. Who's looking at him? We looking at him the Pats or no?
I don't. Nobody claimed him off waivers, so I mean he's a free agent right now.
What's so good about Trevor Lawrence that you got to get rid of your whole team? I know he's a solid, college quarterback, but for one, he didn't win it 2 years in a row. That guy LSU won it last year, so it's not like he just wins, championships by himself.
Yeah, apparently they're gonna think they could just draft him and put scrubs around him, and he's gonna.
When have they ever did that with any quarterback?
That's why they're the Jaguars, and that's why you saw they went from the AFC Championship game to bottom of the barrel.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
That's why we're New England.
New England Sports Update with Mia Lynn. There you go, New England Sports Update. We are getting canceled. Oh.
Good afternoon. This is Mia Lynn. Welcome back to New England Sports Scores and Updates. Since last week's segment, multiple New England teams boycotted their respective games in an effort to focus the attention solely on the racism and police brutality in this country. The local teams on the list of those who boycotted their games included the Sun, Bruins, Red Sox, and Celtics. Play across all leagues resumed on Saturday and have continued since. With the trade deadline for MLB having passed on Monday at 4 p.m., the rosters across the league are set for the most part for the remaining 4 weeks of the regular season. In league-wide news, the San Diego Padres made big moves, including the acquisition of Mike Clevenger and Boston's previously owned Mitch Moreland. The Red Sox made use of their time and traded outfielder Kevin Pillar and left-handed reliever Josh Osich in an exchange for two players yet to be named in addition to international bonus pool money. The Sox have gone 2-4 in the last week, falling to the Atlanta Braves in their most recent game last night. The final score was 3-10. They still stand fifth and last in the AL East, 4 games behind the Baltimore Orioles. The Sox wrap up their series against the Braves tonight. First pitch is at 7:30 p.m. The Bruins' pursuit of the Stanley Cup ended on Monday night as they fell to the Tampa Bay Lightning in a double overtime Game 5 of the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. After taking the series lead in the first game of the series, the Bruins were never able to secure another win. It is likely that in the coming days, unrestricted free agents Torrey Krug and Zdeno Chara will determine where their futures lie. The Patriots are entering week 4 of the full team portion of training camp. If times were normal, the team would have been getting ready to take on the New York Giants tomorrow in their last preseason game. Due to the elimination of preseason games, the Patriots have been practicing 6 days a week, as opposed to their normal preseason schedule of 4 days on and 1 day off. In an interview published on Tuesday, veteran Julian Edelman described this unique preseason as a straight grind this whole time. The team will look to wrap up their training camp and transition into regular season mode throughout this week as they prepare to take on the Miami Dolphins on Sunday, September 13th at Gillette Stadium. The Connecticut Sun have gone 3-2 in the last week, defeating their most recent opponent, the New York Liberty, 70-65. The Sun can thank Dewana Bonner as she recorded a double-double to lead the team to victory. The team still holds second place in the Eastern Conference, sitting 3 games behind the Chicago Sky. They'll look to finish the season strong and secure a playoff spot as they wrap up the final 5 games of the regular season. You can catch the Sun back in action tomorrow night against the Las Vegas Aces. Tip-off is at 8 p.m. Lastly, high school sports in Massachusetts will begin officially on September 18th. Soccer, gymnastics, cross country, field hockey, girls volleyball, swim and dive, golf, and dance are the approved activities for the upcoming fall season. For activities that won't be able to be played this fall, including football, competitive cheerleading, and unified basketball, there will be a floating season that will take place in late February, continuing into early April. The MIAA Sport Committee representatives created modifications to the state guidelines for each activity that can take place this fall. That's all I've got for you today. Tune in next week as we cover more New England sports scores and updates.
All right, let's go to Athletes Corner, and we spoke with some players from the North Shore Navigators about their past season. They got some awards, so here it is, Athletes Corner. Welcome to another edition of Athletes Corner, and today we are joined by some North Shore Navigators. Right now, they're in their dorms right now. I'm here with Sal Freelick, Ben Malgary, and Jonathan Looters. How are you fellas doing?
Doing good.
Yeah. Tell me, how's everything going? Since, how's that whole moving back on campus process? I know it's been hectic for some folks, but how was it for you guys?
Yeah, I know Looters moved back a little earlier. I moved back this weekend. Kind of a smooth transition. Got tested. I was in quarantine until I got my negative test back, and now I can start going to the field, practicing. We'll start soon and other team activities.
For you, Ben?
We're going to be moving in later this week, so I'm actually still at home right now.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Did you have to do the COVID test before you get on campus, or if you don't do it, you have to take it when you get there?
Yeah, so the way we do it is the first day, third day, and fifth day we're on campus. We have to get tested, and after that first negative test, we have a little bit more freedom. Still, what we can do.
Gotcha. Jonathan, how's the campus looking?
Still pretty good. You're required to have masks wherever you go. I haven't really been in the cafeteria. I don't really have a meal plan off campus, but I think it's obviously a little emptier, I should say. But it's all good. It's gonna be back. Good to see everyone and stuff like that for the most part, even though it's kind of in small groups. But so good so far.
All right, let's just talk about this past summer with the Navigators season that you guys had. I know a lot shorter. It was a shorter season, a lot of condensed games, but I'd like to hear from you guys. Overall, just how do you think the league just handled everything in as far as scheduling and just making sure everybody was able to get the games to have the games happen?
Yeah, I think we were super fortunate to even be playing baseball. I know a lot of my college friends and even high school friends and some minor league guys that didn't get to play baseball this year. So for them to be able to kick that league off was awesome. I think they handled it great. We showed up at the field every day, got our temperatures taken, and our bodies were constantly being monitored, just to allow us to play baseball. There were no fans there, and we didn't really care just because we were able to play.
Yeah, I thought it was great. Like Sal said, that they were able to figure it out and get us on the field. I know a bunch of other leagues got canceled and stuff, so I was just really grateful that we could get on the field, even if we had to, go through some extra measures to kind of keep us on the field.
Do you guys think that's kind of a way to show other leagues just how it's done, how to put a product together while COVID is happening? Because right now with high school sports, it's in Massachusetts, for example, there's a lot of uncertain if they're going to start late. But do you guys see the blueprint that the Navigators have? A lot of organizations and different leagues from high school on up could take what the Navigators did and implement it to what their current situation or their current leagues.
I think so. Yeah, definitely. I think they kind of set the tone per se, because they were able to go from their start date to all the way through. And from what I know, I don't think we had any issues. I think we were all really good about it, in the sense. And even though I think in New Hampshire and Connecticut they had fans, and I don't know about any issues there, even though I'm not on one of those teams. But I think it was really good. I think we can continue to do that, and even though there are some restrictions, but just being out there and playing is fantastic.
Now you guys did a lot of great things on the field, and you three gentlemen came away with some awards. Jonathan, you became the third Navigator to win the Adam Keeman Sportsmanship and Scholarship Award. Just talk about that, being the recipient of that.
Yeah, I was truly honored and very humbled. I reached out to Audrey Keegan, Adam's mom, and talked to her a little bit about it and what it meant, what it meant to her and what it meant for, I guess, her son Adam as well. I guess that makes sense. I just try to be the best teammate I can possibly be. Try to help the team win. I don't think I take notes from Benny and Sal and all these other guys, and just it was a great time playing. Very honored and fortunate to get the award, I guess. Yeah,
especially I read about how the whole scholarship and award got put together and stuff, and it's a little more. I think it's important just it was for a former Navigator, and you're able to do what that all you can on the field to get that award. And then Salvatore, you got the top prospect of honor, and this is your second time getting that honor. Can you just talk about that, being a two-time recipient of that?
Yeah, so I played in the Futures League after my senior year of high school before going into college. And I won it that year, and I was super fortunate that they were able to have me back for this year. I think I made some good ties with some of the guys in the Navigators organizations. They're grateful to have me back, so I got to play this year, and we had an unbelievable team. The whole league was full of talent with all these other leagues canceling. Two of the guys on the Zoom right here, and I think anybody could have won it. I know Ben could have won it, Johnny. We had so many kids that could have won that award. And I think us just pushing each other and making each other better every day was, the reason we all got better. And, I'm super happy, it landed in my corner.
Can you talk a little bit about how playing in this league, you said you played after your senior year of high school. Can you just talk about how your baseball improvement has gone since you've been a part of this league?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing's been experience. When I first played in the league, I was a rookie. I mean, I had only played high school baseball. I never played with college kids, and there were a ton of college guys that really helped me out and, helped me improve my game and took me under their wing. And I knew before we even had our first practice coming in this year that that's the role I wanted to fill. I knew there were going to be younger guys on the team, guys who haven't played college ball before. And, I said, besides, my personal development, my other big goal is to really help these other guys mature.
Mm-hmm. And when you're moving on as far as the level of play, you getting the opportunity to play after you graduated high school, and then when you got on to play college and you're going up against the more experienced college players, was it a little more easier for you just knowing that you went up against guys who are well known who are great college players?
Yeah, I mean there were a lot of friendly names. There were some ACC guys, SEC guys. So a lot of the stuff from talent-wise didn't really catch me off guard. And that's why I really wanted to be an outlet for some of these younger kids when they did get caught off guard, just like I was my freshman year. I remember coming in the league and seeing how quicker, these games went, and guys were throwing the ball harder, running faster, hitting it further, and I just had to adjust and want to make sure I could be that type of leader this year for those guys.
Now, Ben, you are the recipient of the Defense Player of the Year award. You also had a good season this summer. Can you just talk to me about that, getting that award?
It really means a lot to me. I was honored to get that award. I think it really helps that we had guys like Sal and Jonathan here, and obviously a bunch of other guys on the team that I could kind of, pick from. I was really just observing other guys' games, and it really helped with my game to progress this summer, and I feel like I got a lot better from playing on the Navigators this summer.
Yeah, and the season that you put together in this short time span, setting a franchise record or tying a franchise record with 18 stolen bases. Just to talk about that, just being able to just do that.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, guys getting on base for me, whole thing's like hitting's contagious. I'm just in a good lineup, happen to get on base. I get the steal sign a lot. I was able to show my speed, and I guess it just kind of snowballed, and I was able to kind of steal a lot of bases there.
Mm-hmm. Jonathan, is there something, playing for the Navigators, is there something that you're asked to do differently that you're not asked to do while you're at school, that you kind of take that note, and if the opportunity presented itself at school, that you're able to do whatever that you did with the Navigators on your team?
I just try to play my game no matter what. I think just trying to do whatever helps the team win. I'm just trying to know myself, and I think I learned a lot from Benny and a lot from Sal this year, and how to go about approaching the game, how to play the game. And I'm going to definitely take what I learned from them and the rest of the guys back here at school to hopefully become a better overall player here as well.
Can you three just talk about the uniqueness of playing summer baseball for the Navigators? I know when I talked to some of you guys earlier before the season started, you said this is probably the only time you guys get to see each other, get to be around each other when you're back in the state. Or can you just talk about the uniqueness of playing for the Navigators and just how you guys all get along and learn from each other?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's uniqueness in summer ball in general, whether it's this summer or any summer. Just guys coming from all different places across the country, from different colleges. You literally form a team and you play every single day, and the relationships you form are unbelievable. Ben, Jonathan, the rest of the guys, I didn't really know too well before, and now some of my best friends. So the uniqueness in summer ball itself, I think, is super special. And then obviously this year, the league actually happening was super special. And we were crammed up in our houses, and we couldn't even get outside. And when the season happened, we were playing every single day, and it was a great escape from kind of what's happening in the world, and we cherish that.
Yeah, I think going off of that, There's a bunch of different schools, like Sal said, and that means there's a bunch of different pieces of information you can pick up from people. Everyone gets coached differently at different places. Everyone has different experiences at different schools. So you really get to kind of draw from everyone and everywhere when you're playing with guys like that. So I thought it was really great.
Yeah, going off with those two guys, Benny and Sal just said, it's even cooler. I think we're all pretty local. We all kind of like came from the same area, kind of all grew up relatively with a similar background in playing. We all kind of knew each other, and that was even more special. I think it's kind of even unique just this summer. But yeah, just learning, picking up anything you possibly can from anyone, just learning from such great guys was a truly great experience. And especially for being an infielder, like learning from other infielders, see what they try to do in the field was awesome.
Yeah, definitely. Fellas, thank you very much for taking the time to chat with me. Good luck. Hopefully you guys get a season of college baseball. Good luck with everything and stay safe and healthy.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
No problem. You guys been watching Athletes Corner. It's North Shore Navigators. Have a great day. All right, let's get into some sports and entertainment losses. So it's been a crazy couple of days since Saturday or Friday. Actually, since last week. It was a crazy couple of days. So first, we're gonna go straight up. Monday, the announcement was made that John Thompson, legendary coach for Georgetown, he passed away at age 78, and this hurt a lot of people because so many people were Georgetown fans because number one, they thought Georgetown was a historically black college and university because their head coach was black and all his players on the basketball team were black. If you go back and look at that Georgetown team, it was nothing but black players.
That school was far from all black.
Right, and he was just everything. He was also a Celtic, two-time NBA champion with Boston Celtics. So everything you hear about some of his all his former players is just like he loved them. He was like he made sure they were ready for life after they stopped playing basketball.
You know me, I've always been a Georgetown fan. Yeah. That's my favorite, college basketball team. So I get it. I grew up watching Georgetown. My uncles, seeing the Bulldog, the gray and blue. I almost wore my Georgetown gear today if it wasn't raining. Do it next week. But man, honestly, yeah, just a very influential man. By not even knowing him, just seeing how he coaches players, how he came across the media, how he's well respected. My grandfather, because my grandfather was big and black, just like him. So I kind of felt a connection to him, and it was just when you grow up around a lot of coaches, and most people you see on TV are white. Unfortunately, when you see a black guy on TV, it catches your attention.
And he ain't take no mess from nobody, especially, dealing with the whole Iverson thing and some of the stuff like fans was doing to Iverson during the games. I think there was one game he said they're not going to play because there was a sign.
Yep.
Somebody had a sign. He said they were not going to play until that person with that sign either gets thrown out or that sign gets put away. And what happened? He put that sign away. And then he was the first head coach, black African-American coach to win the NCAA championship.
That's dope, man. With Pat Ewing, Massachusetts own.
I think he went 3. They went to 3. So
yep, they won once and then went to 3.
Yeah, both of the ones they lost, it was just like they lost in the craziest way. I think the first one they lose, Jordan hits the shots. The other one they lost, Villanova shot like 90% from the field.
You know what's crazy? My life's a big old Quinky dink. Yeah. My coach Mukala is Mike Plansky. His older brother played for that team, Villanova.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Big old Quinky dink my life is. But and with John Thompson, when parents release their kid to an institution, they want to believe that coach has the best interest for them. Yeah. And that's what he did. Yeah. He took them all in as his own.
I think the biggest one was Iverson.
Yeah,
biggest one, the biggest story for him was Iverson, what he did for Iverson. Because Iverson, he was, in jail for no reason for something like...
Something that regular kids, it happens all over the place.
He just got blamed for it because he was a high-profile athlete living in a place where they ain't want black people to succeed. I'll just leave that at that.
And he's probably the quickest person to remember.
Yeah. And even though they showed the video, like he had nothing to do with it, he's watching.
AI was there. Yeah. First person that came to mind.
Yeah. So like he said in his Hall of Fame speech that like John Thompson saved his life because his mom went up to him. She went up to Georgetown and told him to give him a chance, and he did. I mean, that's all people need is a chance.
And I think a lot of people respected John Thompson because of that, because he put himself on the line. Because the world was waiting for AI to do something stupid so they can kick them both out of Georgetown.
Yeah.
So,
and this is how you know he was a real one. I just heard a story, like, I think it was sometime in the 80s. He went around in D.C. looking for the biggest drug dealer in D.C. Like, he was putting the word out, I'm looking for him. And, like, he drove around D.C. looking for him. And then the word got back to the drug dealer that John Thompson's looking for him. So the big drug dealer, he went to Georgetown and went to meet with him. And John Thompson was basically like, yo, stay away from my players. Like, this ain't it. Leave these guys alone. And it was just like, man, that's if you need anything else, if you want to know anything about how real John Thompson was, because ain't nobody going around the town looking for the biggest drug dealer in that city, because it could only end two ways, and both of them aren't good.
Not at all.
And also Dikembe Mutombo.
Oh, yeah, you know Mutombo.
I don't know if you heard on the Knucklehead podcast.
I didn't watch it.
So he was on there last week. So he said when he got to Georgetown, he was there on an academic scholarship. Wasn't playing basketball. He didn't go there for basketball. They didn't recruit him or nothing.
Oh.
So people from the State Department that gave him that scholarship, they passed the word to John Thompson. There's a kid coming there. He's a 7-footer from Africa. He's coming there to study science on an academic scholarship. You should look at him. So he basically said it wasn't until like the coach found him, and then it wasn't until his sophomore year that's when he like got on the Georgetown basketball team. Like he didn't play, and I was just like, oh, that I didn't even know that.
Well, Mutombo exceeded all expectations because as crazy as people talk about Mutombo's offense, he wasn't even focused on that. He's focused on them hospitals he was building, apparently. So
yeah, and then he was like, so when he got there, Alonzo Mourning's the man there. So he basically was like, I wasn't gonna get that many minutes. And then it was like, I think it was a game. I think he said it was against Syracuse. Alonzo Mourning got in foul trouble, so they put him in there. And he said he set the record for most blocks. I think he had like 12 blocks in the game, and that was like a Big East record. And then he said after that, everything took off after that. I'm like, man, some of the basketball stories, like, I was like, man, that is crazy.
Nah, it is crazy, man.
But
you couldn't even make that up.
Yeah,
you wanted to.
Definitely. And then another fun fact, he said there was a stat, 98% of his players, they played all 4 years, and they all got their degrees. So that's another thing here. He played in an era where those guys stayed for 4 years.
Yeah.
So, you had teams that played together for 4 years. So it's just like they're grown men out there at some point, and it's a whole different ball game.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
All right. And then also in the college basketball world, Coach Lou Dawson passed away at 85, legendary coach from University of Arizona. Literally built that school, program from the ground up. And at one point it was considered point guard the University of Arizona. Every top point guard in the nation, that's where they went. And it was, it was crazy. But
I credit this team, that Arizona team with Mike Bibby, Miles Simon, and all them, for being a team that kind of made me want to play basketball. Mm-hmm. I watched that championship game when he had the phones on with my mom, actually. So it was just one of them things. It's like, and seeing guys look like you out there. Mm-hmm. They were kind of bright doing their thing. And then, like the Coinky thing, going to school with Lou Dawson's granddaughter Maggie. Had to reach out to her. She's doing well. Mm-hmm. Just everything comes full circle. But yeah, like I want to say him and John Thompson were very influential, I want to say, in my eyes with basketball, because like John Thompson was the one representation of the black male as a coach, and then Lou Dawson was the white-haired guy that had the killers on the court that was very chill. He was a very chill coach.
Before we get to the last one, Clifford Robinson, he passed away at age 54. Uncle Cliff with the headband, only guy that rocked the headband his entire career. He was probably one of the first stretch 4s, stretch 3s, stretch 4s.
He was nice.
I think he was the first big recruit for UConn that started the whole UConn dynasty.
Might have been.
I think so. I think Jim Calhoun said it the other day. He was the first.
I could imagine so.
Yeah. Kemba Walker said it in the press conference, actually.
He wasn't even born, so.
Yeah, he was. Right. So it was like a tough loss. If anybody watched, if you don't know about Clifford Robinson, you just go watch some YouTube videos of him. Like, dude, he was a shooter.
Yeah,
he was a shooter.
One of my NBA Jam teams. Yeah. Golden State.
Golden State, Detroit, Portland. Yeah. Portland, yeah. So it was, he was a good player.
Yeah, he was.
He was 18 years in the league, too.
I mean, he's the reason why I remember the headband. Yeah. He made the headband look cool, and he could hoop.
Yeah.
Like, he could really hoop for real.
Yeah.
And like I said, he played a long time. A lot of guys looked up to him. He's the elder spokesman for a lot of guys in the league. So
Another big loss was in the entertainment world when Chadwick Boseman, best known for his role as the Black Panther, Jackie Robinson, the judge, what's his name? Thurgood Marshall. He plays so many.
I didn't see that.
He plays so many important roles.
I should watch it though.
And he passed away from colon cancer, which he was diagnosed in 2016, and he was still able to give us the Black Panther, Avengers. He was Civil War. He just, man, this one was tough. You know when something happens to somebody and you're just like, damn, yo, this sucks. It feel like it was there because he seemed like he was just a naturally, genuinely nice guy.
Yeah, man. When you hear stories like this, it makes me remind myself when we don't want to do something in the morning or work out or something that it's easy to just sit here. It's hard to get up, and people like this motivate me to continue to go through tough times, even if you want to just quit sometimes. And it's just it sucks to see somebody that had so much success so soon, or like I want to say right away. Not even right away, but it just seemed like the success it was avalanche in his direction. And for him to lose this, to lose this fight is crazy. And I was telling my mom, I was like, maybe when you have so much success, maybe your purpose on life, your purpose on this planet was that, you know what I mean? Yeah. I want to say to empower the black community after doing Black Panther, because he might not have looked at it as that big of a role, because he's playing it, he's getting paid for it. He's like, oh, it was another role. But he didn't understand how much he influenced the black community as a whole throughout the world.
Especially the kids, all the kids. He got kids. I think he said in one of his interviews, he got so many kids, black, white, Asian, Latino, just kids from different backgrounds, ethnicities. They all want to be Black Panther because of watching the movie, and it was because of him. So it was just like, I was like, yo, this is... I kind of felt this one, like,
Didn't he pass away on Jackie Robinson Day or something like that? They said he passed away on that. I don't know how true it was.
No, I don't think so. Jackie Robinson Day is like in April.
His birthday? I don't know. Something in regards to Jackie Robinson, they say he passed on.
I'm not too sure, but but for him to have cancer and he was still able to do all those movies, and he never talked about it. He never mentioned it, which is great, because in this world when you have something, so many people just want to be like,
they want the spotlight. They want to advertise. Hey, but look at me. Feel bad for me, and it's not about that. He was here just to get the work done and influence who he can inspire people he can inspire, and influence the ones he was able to influence.
And I remember when he first put out a pic. I don't know if you remember when he put out a pic, and I was just like, he lost mad weight.
Yeah, he looked sick.
Yeah, and I was just like, in my head I was like, is he playing did he lose weight for a role, or is he sick? Because I was just like, because the last time I saw him one picture, I was like, oh, he looked, he was still like fit. He didn't look that skinny. And then I seen that picture, I was like, he's either sick or he's doing a new role. So
black folk, you can't lose no weight, because first thing you think you sick.
Yeah.
You want something. So you know what I mean. It sucks. But honestly, I wasn't sure what was going on with him, but he looked off. His face was too slim.
Yeah, it was like, but hey, he still 42 years of life, he made a big impact in that short 42. Mm-hmm. And people look at 42, they think that's such a young age, because there's so much. When you look at people dying so young, it's just like, man, like Kobe turned 42, he would have been 42, and it's just like, man, that's.
It's kind of like life. Granted, your life starts in 21, but I feel like your life don't really start till you hit your 40s.
Once you get 30 plus, those are your best years.
Yeah,
you start not giving a damn.
Oh, that's just me coming out the womb.
The older you get, once you once you're done with your 20s and you're in your 30s, it's like, all right, I really don't give a damn. So, all right, that's it for us. Y'all see it, D1 state champs, back-to-back, Lynn English Bulldogs. You know what I'm saying? It's hoodie season, fellas. Remember, watch out for them thieving females with your hoodies. Watch out. All right, make sure you check us out. Follow him, Mr. Burton, on Instagram. Mukala K on Instagram. LCTV Afterwards on Instagram. LynnTV.org. Go check us out. Lynn Community TV, Facebook. Just check us out, man. We got a whole bunch of stuff.
You want to work out? Stop being scared. Y'all see us on the gram.
You know it. All right. And ladies, we get free workouts too.
Yes, you do.
All right, guys. Have a great day.